And it's funny because the way like Jacob deGrom pitched, Garrett Cole, even Clayton Kershaw, and Bieber, obviously, there are guys who were ready to go and look terrific, and it looked like, hey, pitching's ahead of hitting. At the same time, we've had a number of injuries as well. Where are you on the season, this weird season playing a part in that?
It really is an unusual number of injuries. You look at any of these guys individually who've had forearm issues, elbow issues, shoulder injuries. You could say, well, they've had these problems in the past. It's just this guy or that guy. But when you look at the league-wide numbers, it's really, really high compared to previous opening seasons, compared to the same stretch at the start of the season, which always tends to be a little bit of a higher injury risk. But this year, it's really just off the charts compared to those past years. And I don't think it's a coincidence. And this isn't something that we're just coming up to explain this after the fact. People in baseball were sounding the alarm on this for months leading up to opening day, just because it's such a strange deviation from the routine. You didn't get a full spring training, then you shut guys down for months, then you come back and you try to ramp up in just 3 weeks or so. And some guys took the training really seriously. Some teams did a great job of remote training and distributing workout plans to these guys. But again, you can't completely control players who are on their own, and players had different access to facilities. Not everyone had access to a gym or a place to throw or work out. And, we can't look at it and say, well, if you got hurt, that means you didn't train right or you didn't take the layoff seriously. I think guys who trained hard will get hurt, and guys who didn't train won't get hurt. Injuries aren't perfectly predictable. But when you look at the league-wide rate, there's something going on here. And because we expected something to happen, I think it's more certain that this is not just a fluke.
All right, John, again, not only have you lived this and getting ready as a pitcher, you've also been calling a ton of games so far, rather than MLB Network showcase games have been going on almost every day. What have you seen? What is happening here?
Yeah, I think that when you're looking for something, you're going to notice it more, right? And he's right. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of injuries. My biggest concern was going to be from guys personality-wise. Not everybody has the same personality. Some people are going to pour into working out too much. They're going to come in too strong, and they're going to have the opposite. I think overall, from what I've seen, guys did a really good job staying in physical shape, what their appearance would look like. I thought we'd see some transformations that we go, whoa. But I think the experience level that each player had will go into whether or not they had the facilities to do what they needed to do. Mentally, this was going to be the challenge. A veteran would have known how to keep himself in shape based on his past experience. Maybe a rookie didn't. But I think you had to never let your brain shut off to think, well, we don't know, and I'll just go through the motions. Because the guys that do that, I think, have a higher risk of saying, oh, shoot, I got to hurry up. You can never hurry up and get ready as a pitcher. You have to maintain this journey kind of marathon type approach. See, when the season restarted, you should have been in a maintenance program, in theory. When you leave spring training, and I think we'll get into some of the things that I think are vastly different in training, but typically when you leave spring training, all your work's been done and you maintain. There's no way to increase strength. You're going to decrease. There's impossible to get stronger as the year goes on because you're tearing down fibers and you're just trying to get through the year, and hopefully your pre-work allowed you to maintain. You're working out to maintain. And I think there's a big difference between some of the training regimens today in bulk training that gives you a higher risk, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn Express, but I think it's just given us an opportunity to increase the range of injuries based on what we're asking players to do. Max effort, deliver the goods every night, and be on your game every single night, and there's no in between. And this little example is a magnified example of the injuries that I think could be, we maybe not paid attention to as much.
Ben Lindbergh, we're supposed to wrap. I'm going to give you 20 seconds on what John just said. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's true that there's a greater risk in some ways today, given that guys are throwing harder, that they're throwing certain types of pitches more often. Teams have improved their training routines in some ways. But I would hope that if this is related to that abbreviated ramp up to the season, guys will get over it. If they haven't gotten hurt yet, that this won't linger for the rest of the season, that either you felt something already or it won't carry on, because, it would be a shame if this whole season were marred by guys going down with injuries.